we have evolved as a society into where all information, for the most part, is traveling on the internet. It's on the digital platform. Call it whatever you want. I wish there was some way we could turn the clock back and start over, knowing what was coming. But we can't do that. We also cannot go home and tell our children, give me your phone. You can't do that. That will not be our message tonight. We cannot go home and tell our children, close your laptop, turn off your iPad, give me your iPhone, give me your whatever apparatus they're using. That is not the answer. This is not going to change. From now on, going forward, more information will be on the internet. And we as parents, as grandparents like I am, as caretakers of the children, our most priceless and precious resource. We must protect them. There are monsters out there. I don't know any other way to say it. There are monsters and predators on the internet as we speak, looking for children to take advantage of. So I hope tonight that what you get out of this will in some way help. You know, I'll close with this. I'm not alarmed that everybody is not here. We'll record this and we'll try to get it out, but you're here and you have an influence. And if one child has one caretaker, one parent, one grandparent, one aunt, one uncle, who helps them get through these difficult years of adolescence without being victimized, this whole night will have been worthwhile. So thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to the next hour to present you with the dangers of social media.
Glad everybody came out here tonight. I first want to start with a question. I want to see some hands. I can barely see, but I want to see some hands tonight. I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to raise your hand. How many people here have kids that are using phones, tablets, computers, or even gaming machines like Xboxes and PlayStations? Let me see a hand. Okay. All those people that have hands up. How many people think they have a really good grip on the dangers of social media and the internet? And how many people think they really know what their children are doing online? I didn't see any hands going up. So my goal here tonight is that at the end of this conversation we're going to have tonight, I want to see more hands raised. I want you to be more educated about the dangers of social media and the internet, and I want you to know more about the activities of your children online. I think when we talk about internet safety, I think the first thing that comes to mind is this.
Hey Jen, how's it going?
Hi Mark. Good.
Parents are out of town, having a party. Be cool to finally meet you.
You could bring a friend if you want.
When? Where?
Friday at 8, 5100 Brunson Drive.
Cool. See ya.
See you.
I know I sure can. So now's the time I want to talk about what your kids are doing online. Well, I wish I had the internet when I was a kid. If I had to do a research project or a science project and I had to look up something, I either had to read a newspaper, get a magazine, or better yet, I would go to my grandmother's house and she had the World Book Encyclopedia. Remember those? Kids today have it so easy. They can just go online with a couple clicks, go into Google or Bing and ask their question, and there's more information than they ever wanted to know. And up-to-date information, the freshest information. I think if my grandmother's World Book encyclopedias, if there was anything I was researching after 1969, it wasn't in the book, so it didn't happen. So kids are using the internet as a learning tool. It's a great learning tool. The kids are playing online games. They're on their phones, they're on their iPads. We talked about computer gaming, and obviously with the PlayStations and the Xboxes, kids are playing now online. They're communicating with their friends and family, both with webcam and text communications. And they're consuming and producing media, whether it's videos, pictures, downloading music, streaming music. All of this, it's great. The kids are loving it. You can never see a kid without a phone. And if you take a phone away from a kid, wow, do they get upset. And us as adults, we're utilizing the internet. We bank online. I think my wife's best friend is Amazon because she shops online every day. We have that. We bank online. We research things. We buy things online. Internet's a great tool. Wonderful tool. Don't know what we did without it. But with all these great things the internet has, there's a dark side. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the dark side is. We talked a little bit about the online predators. These are individuals, mostly adults, that are out there trying to communicate with our children. They're trying to get our children to take inappropriate pictures of themselves and send them to these predators. These individuals are sending inappropriate things to our children and exposing them to pornography. The goal of these predators are to get our children out of the house and in their arms. And that's what we need to be afraid of, is these online predators. Also, I see time and time again, children are posting way too much personal information about themselves online. Their real name, the schools they go to, the address where they live, the address where they're at, whether it's the beach or a friend's house. They're posting their date of birth. All this can open them up to an online predator targeting them. Even it can open them up to identity theft, depending on the amount of information they're putting out there. Another thing that I've seen that goes along with the dangers that the kids are facing today is things they're doing to themselves. Things like cyberbullying. I have a segment later on that we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about cyberbullying, but the internet and technology has allowed our children to harass and bully their peers on a great level, to a wider audience and a lot faster than it has been in the past. Also, I see kids sexting. What is sexting? When children take naked pictures of themselves or videos and they send it to another child, another peer, the exchange of pictures back and forth, it's called sexting. I also have another segment that we're going to talk about that issue a little bit more in depth, but I've seen it time and time again. Part of my job is a computer forensic examiner, and I've examined hundreds of computers and hundreds, if not thousands, of cell phones, many belonging to children, in a lot of my cases. And I can tell you right now, a lot of kids are taking pictures of themselves, or they're collecting pictures of their peers. And I'm talking naked pictures. And we're going to talk about the consequences of that. The last thing I want to talk about as it relates to the dangers on the internet is exposure to inappropriate content. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about pornography. And this isn't your daddy's Playboy. The pornography that I'm seeing on the internet is the most vile, violent, and disgusting material that's out there. And your kids have access to that. I'm going to tell you a short story. It's a true story, and I hope you're not too shocked, but it shocked me. And I've been doing this for 23 years. We had a case come into our office, in our unit, the Special Victims Unit. 2 7-year-old girls were playing in one of the girls' bedrooms. The mother went in to check on the girls, as she always did. And when she went into the girls' bedroom, both girls were covered in feces, in their hair, on their face, and on their clothes. The mother was very upset and disturbed. The kids immediately blamed the dog. The mother then took the neighborhood girl next door, knocked on the door, and gave the girl back to her mother. How would you like to be that mother? Your child just returns home with covered in feces. Well, our investigation revealed we're trying to look for the reasons why these 2 girls would be covered in feces. They didn't really want to talk too much about it, so it was a little difficult. We got one of the girls' iPad. She loved her iPad. Parents said she never left the iPad alone. She was always on it. We started looking at some of the Google searches that this girl performed prior to this incident. I mentioned, you saw up there, one of the games kids are playing, it's Minecraft. It's a cartoon kind of game where your character builds things. It's kind of rudimentary, but a lot of kids are playing it. There's a modification apparently to this game that allows your character to poop. Kids think it's funny. So this girl took it upon herself to type into Google, pooping in Minecraft. Seems harmless enough, but Google's your friend. Google started asking or telling the little girl, no, you don't want pooping in Minecraft, how about pooping videos? So then the girl clicked on a few more videos. And then Google even got better and said, wait a minute, pooping in videos, how about pooping sex videos? This little girl then watched people, adults, defecating on each other during sex. When I tell you some of the disgusting, vile material that's out on the internet, it's there. This poor little 7-year-old girl was exposed to that. And because she's still growing up and learning what's real, what's not real, she experimented with things that she saw on the internet with her friend. So that right there, true story, just happened a few months ago. Want to make you aware of it. There's some disgusting stuff that's out on the internet.
Just real quickly, here's a takeaway for you on that one. I parented 3 children, I now have 2 grandchildren. We always want to think the best of our children, right? We want to be the advocates. If you're sitting out there now saying, my fill in the blank, daughter, grandson, wouldn't do that, I want you to know, if you're saying that, we're failing up here. Because they don't do it because they're bad. A 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 13-year-old boy, a 15-year-old boy, they are so curious. This stuff is so readily accessible. They can be laying in bed at night, getting ready to get their last-minute notes for school, wherever, they're on their iPad, and they trip up into one of these things, and it can open a door that I will tell you will be very hard for you to close. So takeaway number 2 is all of our children, all of them are vulnerable to this. Nobody in here has a child who is so unbelievably perfect and resilient that this can't happen. I would suspect, if you ask the parents of that 7-year-old, would your daughter ever go on an internet site and look for, and I won't repeat it, you already heard it, absolutely not. She would have been mistaken. So the onus is on you, and we're going to keep hammering that over and over again. We can't go over every single possibility here today, but just open up your mind to this concept that there's so much out there that can be so treacherous. At the end of the day, we're going to leave it on it's going to be in your lap. I cannot possibly take care of your children or your grandchildren.
Thank you.
Right?
And you've heard the expression, that can't be unseen. There are certain things on the internet. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So where does this all start? Well, it starts with your child's online presence. And what that usually is a screen name or an email name, a name that they are going to go by and friends are going to search for them and follow them, their social sites. One thing that I would suggest as it relates to your child's screen name is, first of all, don't use your real child's name. don't use identifiers in your screen name that would show if you're a boy or a girl, or maybe your age, or even a jersey number if you play a sport. Also, I would look at a name that your child's using online and make sure it's not offensive to anyone. And make sure it meets your standards, because what's offensive to some might not be offensive to others. Some examples, as you see on the screen here on the right, would be bad screen names. We have Kid Boozer, New York City Pimp, Sexy Baby, Gangster for Life. The problems with those names, because I talk to kids even today at Seawin Elementary, and they all laughed and said, those are cool names. Because to a child, that might be a cool, fun, catchy name. But it could give the wrong idea to someone, even a predator, about your child. So you have to look at your child's screen name and what persona they're presenting themselves as when they're online, and make sure it meets your standards, it's not offensive, and they're not putting too much personal information out there. The next thing about personal information. Children, I see it time and time again, are posting their phone numbers, their addresses, their locations where they are. You have to educate your children not to put themselves out like that. If I'm a predator, you're making it really easy for me to find you. Also, on their social sites, and I have an example later on Facebook, limit who can see the information that you are posting online as a child. And who do we limit that to? I limit that to friends and family. And who are my friends? Well, if you talk to a child who has 400 or 500 friends, that could be anybody. Anybody who says, hey, I want to be your friend. Click, you're my friend. Now, if you went back with your child and looked at those 500 people that are their friends on their buddy list, ask them, how many people do you really know in real life? Because that's what it comes down to. I suggest, as a parent, people that are going to be on your child's social sites, and those that are able to see your child's postings should be only friends and family, friends they know in real life. Here's an example of Facebook. And you can really get in there and turn on those privacy settings and limit the information that you're putting out there and who can see the information you're posting. This is my iPhone right here. I'm going to go into the Facebook application. And once I'm on my Facebook page, I'm going to go into settings. Simple enough. Once I go into settings, there's a shortcut there. It says privacy shortcuts. And the first thing you come across is who can see my stuff. That's easy enough. You click on that, and we're going to go in and we're going to say friends only. And I have it checked, friends. You can also go in here and see who can contact you. If somebody is bothering you, you can block somebody in your privacy settings. I would go through all of these settings if I were you as a parent and check to make sure your child's settings are set this way, and make sure that the only people that can see your child's post, or the only people that can communicate with your child through their social sites or friends, and as we all know, friends are people that we know in real life. Neighborhood friends, friends in school, or family members. The next big thing I see that's happening in our schools is bullying. Bullying has been around pretty much forever. I remember when I was going to school, people would pick on other people for a variety of different reasons. I was too tall, I was too short, I was too heavy, I had freckles, I had red hair, I wore glasses, it was the jocks against the nerds. Heck, I was a jock and a nerd. And I wore glasses, so I guess there's 3 out of a bunch there. But people get picked on for a variety of different reasons. But now with technology, with cell phones, with social sites, technology has merged with bullying and has now created cyberbullying. What are we talking about here with cyberbullying? Well, it's so easy now to just send that nasty, mean text message. Kids are now creating fake profiles of their friends and posting mean things. They're spreading rumor and gossip. They're posting embarrassing pictures of their friends. And they're using the internet and these online tools as a way to threaten and harass other children. The difference between bullying and cyberbullying is cyberbullying can reach a greater audience in a quicker amount of time. Spreads much faster. How do you know if your child's being bullied? How do you know if your child's being cyberbullied? Well, there's some things to look for as a parent. You know, I said earlier that kids would do anything to have their cell phone. They always want their cell phone. They're always on their cell phone. If all of a sudden you're noticing your child, they stop using their cell phone, or they get a message, ding, I got a message, and now all of a sudden they're shying away from their phone. They don't want to look at their cell phone anymore. What about if they enjoyed going to school and being with their friends for those few hours of the day, and then all of a sudden they're making excuses, they're sick, they don't want to go to school. There might be some issues that you want to address as a parent. They might start withdrawing from a certain group of friends or even family members. These are some signs that I think as a parent you should take greatly, because teen depression and bullying go hand in hand. And if it doesn't get addressed, this video I'm about to show you could be a worst case scenario, and I hope it never ever happens to anyone in this room.
Is that fat pig slut talking to your boyfriend?
No way. I hate that bitch.
That fat pig Jenna is done.
Hate her. Did you see her flaunting her fat ass around Matt?
What a slut. No more Jenna after what we have planned for her.
Can you get her email and cell phone number?
Sure can, and I'll get the websites she visits.
I'll get her lame friends' emails and cells.
Wait till everyone sees this fat pig picture of Jenna I just found on the internet.
I love you two.
Here comes the pig.
Ginormous Jen. We gotta get a picture.
Big shit. That slut. Wow. I gotta get this on Whoa.
You don't have to worry about Matt and the fat slut anymore.
Can you believe that pig going home because she can't handle being called fat?
Like, she should look in the mirror.
I love this one. FPS. Fat pig slut.
Jenna, no one loves you. Especially Matt.
We literally can do this all year.
No one loves you. Especially Matt.
Were you there? Yes. It's you. I was trying to watch it too, but.
Did you see what someone wrote on her wall last night?
Oh, wow, it's gone viral.
Yeah, did you hear about that new website, hatersofjenna.com?
Attention students, this is Principal Rivard. I regret to inform you that the family of Jenna Long has told us that last night Jenna committed suicide. We would like everyone to take a moment of silence to remember Jenna. We will miss her. Anyone who needs counseling, please come to the office. And you should know, the school is cooperating with the family and authorities in determining what may have led to this tragedy.
Brittany, Shayna, Tanya.
Come with us, ladies, please. Now, ladies.
Does anybody want to talk about it?
If you're bullying someone, stop it now. If you're being bullied, reach out to an adult that you know and trust. There's a lot of ways to get the help and support that you need. Thank you.
You know, this was an illustration, but teen depression and teen suicide is happening across the country. It's happening in Florida, and unfortunately, on a few occasions, it's even happened here in Martin County. So please, as parents, if you see your child going through this, talk to them about it. Don't let it get worse, as it was illustrated here.
Well, and two, and maybe one quick takeaway is don't be reactive. Don't wait till you see the pattern changing with your child. Perhaps one thing you could do as you go through the phones and you continue to be proactive, ask your son or your daughter, usually in a casual conversation, has anybody bullied you? Or is anybody saying unkind things about you? Maybe that's something you could bring up. The summer's coming, you know, school's out, the pressure's diminishing. Or they're the victim of it. You may be surprised that this stuff can happen in any home in Martin County. And then also ask the flip side, have you ever sent a text about somebody? Have you participated in this kind of behavior? Have you forwarded a text or a message that was unkind? And have that good family discussion that you don't approve of it and that it really can lead to something just like this, Brian?
Absolutely. So what can you do? Well, first of all, as a parent, if you become aware of a cyberbullying situation, I want you to save the evidence. I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. Save the evidence could be a copy of that text message, a screenshot of that Facebook post or that website that was created. Save the evidence. Then have your child block the bully. If they're on their friends list, unfriend them. Take them off their buddy list. Or better yet, you can get a new account. All these Facebooks and Instagrams and all these other applications, they're free. Get a new account, or what I suggest is just, hey, tell your child, let's take a breather. Let's go offline for a while. Let's do some family activities. Let's get outside. Let's take a break from the digital world. But whatever you do, report. Report, report, report. We as law enforcement, my job is to protect children. If I don't know that a child is being harmed, whether through another child or through a predator, if I don't know about that, I can't help that child and I can't stop it from occurring again and again and again. So report it. We have school resource officers in most of our schools. You can report it to us at the Martin County Sheriff's Office. They have teachers, they have other trusted adults, they have you guys. Report it. Also teach your child not to be a bystander if they witness one of their friends being bullied or cyberbullied. That other person may not be strong enough to step forward to speak about the behavior of bullying that's occurring to them. So teach your child, they might not be the one being bullied, but if they witness another child being bullied, to stand up for that person. One way that you can report, I told you a couple different ways, you can come right to us directly. Sheriff Snyder, when he took office, made it a mission of his to create a school environment where kids should feel safe and comfortable to learn in our institutions. He created a no bully zone. How did he do that? Well, on our website at www.sheriff.martin.fl.us, you'll see an icon there that says no bully zone. You see it there on the left-hand side. If you click on that button, it opens up this form that you see on the right-hand side, where you can input information that you might have or that your child has given you about a cyberbullying incident, a bullying incident at a school or neighborhood, a fight that they have knowledge of. If a child is bringing a weapon to school and your child has knowledge of that, you can report all of that on this portal. And it immediately goes to our school resource officer sergeant and gets disseminated to the appropriate school instantaneous. So as soon as you click submit, whatever you're reporting, it immediately gets reported. I know some people don't like talking to the cops and some people don't like, talking one-on-one. This is a perfect tool at the comforts of your own home or cell phone to just report it and let us know right away. There might be other kids besides yours that are affected. Okay. I told you I conduct computer forensics examinations and cell phone examinations. Been doing it since 2004. I've seen lots of computers and lots of cell phones, processing for a variety of different crimes and getting that evidence off those devices. I can tell you right now, many of our kids, I think it starts mainly in middle school and goes into high school. Kids are taking naked pictures of themselves. They're sending these pictures to their boyfriends and girlfriends. They are even taking sex videos of themselves and exchanging those. This is made very simple with cell phones today. What are the consequences of sexting? Well, first of all, I want you to stress that it's illegal. Children are actually creating child pornography. Some of these predators, when I grab their computers after I arrest them, and I'm going through their collection of contraband and child pornography, many of the images and videos that I see that they're collecting are images and videos that kids are taking of themselves that are now out on the internet for the whole world to see and to become a collection of some creepy predator. These pictures and videos that kids put out there can be used in bullying and cyberbullying incidences. They could get in trouble at school. Obviously, they can get in trouble with us. And I've seen it time and time again where people are using these pictures and videos to blackmail other people. I had a young girl, just to show you what the World Wide Web really is. I had a girl here in Stewart who was in her 20s, and she was carrying on with her life, had relationships, she was getting a job, and she got a friend request on Facebook. She started up a conversation, and the guy said, I have these pictures and videos of you, and sent them to her, and says, I want more. I want you to take more pictures and more videos and send them to me. The girl did the right thing. She says, get a life. I was 14 years old when that happened. I don't do that anymore. It was a mistake I made that I regret. Go get a life. If you don't send these pictures and videos to me, I'm going to send it to everyone on your buddy list. She says, do what you have to do, and blocked him. Next thing you know, her mother comes rushing in. Why do I have these pictures of you? Why do I have these videos of you? These pictures and videos were sent to every one of her friends, all of her relatives, her father, her grandparents. All of this that happened 10 years prior has resurfaced because whatever's on the internet, whatever you put on the internet, and I can't stress this enough, is never going away. Just want to let you know, I identified that individual. That person was part of a ring of 5 other guys that would go out, find images of young kids, and try to locate those kids to get more material. They were located in Tel Aviv, Israel. Somebody in Israel reached down to a child here in Martin County and Stewart to blackmail them over stuff she did 10 years ago.
don't know the consequences. You can take a picture of yourself and it could go around to every single guy in the school.
I want him to like me more. He kept asking for pictures of me. He kept saying, well, nobody will find out. You won't get in trouble for it.
When the pictures were getting taken, I never thought they would end up on the internet.
They were trying to charge me as a sex offender because I had sent the picture and I had sent it to another friend.
Every person has experienced saying something or doing something where we thought, I really shouldn't have done that. Sometimes we can fix that. If it's something where we said something to a friend, we know we shouldn't have said it, we can go back, we can apologize. Sexting is different. Once it's sent, we can't take it back. We can't apologize. We can't take back the damage that's done once that picture of us is out there.
One thing real quick to take away, I was just trying to do the math and count real fast. My guess is that based on that 30% estimate, 30% of children, there's probably in this room at least 12 children represented by people here who have done this. There again, that thought, man, my daughter would never do that. Either get in a relationship with a boy, the next thing you know, it seems harmless. They can't conceptualize the danger. So here's another takeaway. Go home and talk to your children. Say, have you ever done that? Look, your parents, you're all trained investigators. There's not one of you that can't interrogate your children. Go ahead and do that. Just in casual conversation, hey, you ever take a picture of yourself? And you'll get onto it real fast. Chances are they'll say no. Whatever they say, then you get into that conversation and share what Detective Broughton was saying, how it's forever and ever.
You see in the commercials, I think Apple puts them out, there's an app for that. Well, you as a parent, let's say, I'm doing all the right things. My child comes home, they hand over the phone, I look at text messages. Yep, nothing inappropriate there. As a parent, I'll even go into the photo roll. Okay, no inappropriate pictures there. Son or daughter, great, here's your phone back. Keep up the good work. Kids aren't using that. Kids aren't communicating with their friends about things they don't want you to know about in that text app that's built into the phone. When they do take a picture they don't want you to see, it's not staying in that photo roll. Where is this stuff? Well, like I said, there's an app for that. There's even an app for communicating. How many people up there, just with a show of hands, recognize some of the names or icons that are up there? Okay, I see a few hands. I'm going to go over a couple of those. These are common communication applications that I see kids using on a daily basis. Let's start with WhatsApp and text-free. These are basic chat communication applications. These aren't going to be chats that you're going to see on your phone bill, hence the name text-free. These are just text communications that kids can chat back and forth with these applications. You see the one in the bottom right-hand corner says Omegle. I didn't add that. That's actually a tag that used to describe the application itself. It says talk to strangers. Sounds pretty ominous. What is this application? This application allows you to utilize your webcam, whether it's on your phone or a computer, and chat with anyone around the world. And it just keeps searching for someone else online. And it goes over and over again. And I can tell you right now, a lot of people are using that for inappropriate means. Your children have access to that. ooVoo is another webcam application similar to FaceTime and Skype that I described earlier that allows your child to have one-on-one webcam communications and even group. You can put a couple people in these groups and have webcam communications back and forth. Whisper is another chat application that seems to work on being more anonymous. don't know if you remember, we had a 15-year-old boy several months ago in St. Lucie County that got lured by an adult from Orlando. Came down, picked him up, and took him up to Orlando. They first started their communications through the Whisper app. Two of the big ones, and the last ones I'm going to talk about, that a lot of the kids are using, that you might not be aware of and might not even know what they were, but you saw on your kid's phone. Kik, up in the top right-hand corner, is a chatting application where a lot of kids are exchanging pictures, many of which are inappropriate pictures, back and forth, away from the parents' prying eyes. And who knows that middle one? Looks like a ghost. Can I get a show of hands? Who knows what that icon is? If you don't know what that icon is, maybe you've heard it before. Snapchat. All the kids are using it. What is Snapchat? I'm going to describe a little bit about Snapchat, but I also have a video that kind of explains it a little better. Snapchat is basically where you can take a picture or a short video and you set a self-destruct time on that image before you send it to someone else. So I take a picture and I put a 5-second self-destruct time on that picture. I then send it to you. You get notification that I sent you a picture. You look at it on your phone, and once you start to look at it, you got 5 seconds before poof, it's gone off your phone, it's gone off my phone, parents don't see it, and it's over and done with. But with everything, like I said, technology is always changing. There are now applications out there that kids can download that will save that information, even though you might think, oh, it disappears, it's gone. There's applications now that actually save that information for you. Or better yet, old school, I take another phone, look at the picture that was sent to me and just film the screen with another device and record it that way. So there are ways around technology. Kids know this. I want you as parents to also know this. Here's a brief explanation, if I didn't help you out, of what Snapchat is and what it looks like.
I'm going to show you guys how this app works. The first thing you're going to want to do is log on to Snapchat, and once you've logged on, then you can take your picture. You can choose how long you want the picture to pop up for, then send it to a friend. It encourages people to share moments without having to store the actual file. The picture shows up on a friend's phone for just a few seconds, then gets destroyed. Well, unless someone takes a screenshot of your photo, then you get a notification that someone copied your picture. And depending on who you ask, this could be a completely fun way to send pictures, or completely scandalous. CNN posed the question, Snapchat, sexting tool, or the next Instagram? Some experts say this new app could pave the way to more teen sexting. The Wall Street Journal said Snapchat is more popular amongst younger people. 13% of teens between 13 and 18 use the app, compared with 4% of adults 19 to 25 years old. I'm Chloe Beardsley, your Central Coast News.
I want to talk a little bit about the social applications your children are using. We all know about Facebook, but I can tell you right now, kids are starting to shy away from Facebook. You want to know why? Because it's crowded with a bunch of old people like us. Looking for our college roommates and our high school, love interest from 30 years ago. I'm not doing that, honey, by the way. But what they are using, MeetMe.com is an application that a lot of kids are now using. It's similar to Facebook. You make up a profile, you can post pictures, and you can communicate with friends. It looks very similar to Facebook. It's more geared towards children. I've had a lot of complaints come in with MeetMe, mainly due to the fact that some of these children that are posting these pictures and on their profile pages, some of them are posting nude pictures, even on their MeetMe pages, and those get reported to law enforcement. MeetMe's pretty good about that, monitoring their activities of their users, and it gets forwarded to us for investigation. Some of the other social sites I see a lot of kids are using, the one up on the left is Vine. It's a social website that allows you to take a 6-second video and post it online. Some of them are benign and funny. Some of them have to do with music and stuff, but basically you as the child are the creator of these videos. I actually had a case of a boy down in Hope Sound who was taking a lot of nude videos of himself and posting it online. So there is pornography on Vine. Just want to make you aware of that as a parent. Tumblr, Pinterest, these are sites that kids can post pictures and make comments about those pictures. Ask FM is another social site I see a lot of kids using. And just as the name suggests, you make a profile and now you have a web page where people can ask you anything. This can sometimes lead to cyberbullying incidences, and people are asked questions about sex issues, and this all has to do with young kids, once again, seeing this content. The big one, I think, that even probably some adults are using is the one there in the middle, Instagram. It's on most smartphones, iPhones and Androids. It's basically a picture-taking application that has some filters built into it. You can make your picture look all artsy with different types of filters, and then you upload them. Within Instagram, you can also direct message other users one-on-one. But mainly, it's posting images that kids take and posting it online. I've seen, once again, people use this tool as a cyberbullying tool and also as a way to exchange sexting images. I've seen in many of my cases. I talked earlier about these sexting images and these pictures that these kids are taking and receiving that they don't want you to see. They're not in their photo roll. I told you that earlier, so where are they? Well, unfortunately, there's companies out there that have made applications that make it difficult as a parent to see this stuff. There's these applications that look like folders or vaults. There's a couple icons up there. And basically what they allow your child to do is to hide videos and pictures inside of a vault or a folder and password protected. Those might be easy to see as you look on your child's phone and you see a vault or you see some kind of encryption folder with a key in it. That kind of raised some concerns. But some of these applications can look and function just like a calculator. They can look like a group of folders and files within a folder. One example I'm going to show you here is called SpyCalc, and there's many more like it. I just wanted to showcase one of the applications. This application lets you hide your private pictures inside a functional calculator. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go on my iPhone here. I'm going to go into a folder I got for demo purposes. It says demos. And you see right there it says digital calc. You click on it and it's a calculator. 25 plus 10, 35. Okay. But if I put in a certain code that I pre-designated, in this case it was 1, 2, 3, 4, it then opens up this calculator application like a folder. And I can click on and add pictures into this folder. I currently have none, so I'm going to go into my photo roll and I'm going to click on a few pictures that I don't want anybody else to see. I'm going to hide those in this calculator application. I've selected 5 pictures. I'm going to get out of the application now. I'm going to go back into it and I'm going to show you it's still a calculator. You can see here 32 minus, I didn't see it, but it's a calculator. But if I put in my code 1, 2, 3, 4, it then opens up and those pictures that I had saved in there are still there. So imagine these pictures are not funny dog pictures, but are sexting images and pictures they don't want you to see. These are just showing you some of the applications that are out there and where the kids are hiding some of these pictures they don't want you to see. And last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about dating and meeting applications that I see kids using, which is kind of odd. Kids now are using these dating applications to meet other kids. Here's a few of the more popular ones. You see a fish in the middle, that's Plenty of Fish. OkCupid, Scout, Badoo. Tinder seems to be a real popular one, and Grindr is another very popular one that I see. The issue with all of those applications, they run on iPhones, they run on Androids, they use the GPS information inside your phone, the GPS antenna, to locate individuals that are near you. That's how these work. So let's say I open up Tinder or Grindr and I said, show me people that meet my criteria that I want to meet in a mile from me. It looks at my phone, it knows where I'm at because of my GPS or my phone, and then shows me other people running the Grindr app or the Tinder app that are in the mile or 2 mile or 3 mile radius. Predators are using these tools to locate your children. The GPS information, we're going to talk a little bit about that, that's embedded in your phones. Have you ever, let's say, gone to Disney with the family, taken a bunch of pictures? You go back and you're looking on your phone at your pictures and you go, oh look, on my phone, all the pictures that when I was at Disney are in a folder that says Orlando. How does your phone know that all those pictures were taken in Orlando? Because of the GPS information that's inherently embedded in your photographs when you take them with a smartphone. Here's what I'm talking about. When your child takes that selfie, that duck face selfie, whether it's in the bathroom or the bedroom, you need to be aware that not only are they sending that picture, and who knows what it is, but along with that picture is information they don't see, but somebody else has access to. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm at a popular place here in Stewart. Most people might recognize where I'm at, but let's say you don't know where I'm at. Let's find out where I'm at. So I took a selfie. Some of this information I was telling you about, this GPS information that's embedded into your photographs when you take it with a smartphone, here it shows you the date and time and the device that I used to take that picture in front of the Selfish Fountain. It was on my iPhone 6. Let's dig a little deeper, because if you look beside that information, there's a tab that says GPS. What does that mean? Well, let's click on that and see what's exposed. Well, it actually gives you a longitude and latitude of the exact location I was when I took that picture. It even lets me open up a map, and on Google Earth, that little red dot there in front of that fountain is where I was when I took that picture in front of the Selfish Fountain in downtown Stewart. Now let's imagine your child just took that picture in their bedroom or bathroom and sent it to someone, maybe even a predator. They now know, without your child even say where they were, exactly where your house is. These are the dangers. I want to make you aware of them. Now you can turn this information off. On iPhones, you just go into your privacy settings, go into location, and as it relates to your camera, you can turn that information off so your camera won't embed this information. You can also do the same for Androids. You can't turn this off per app or just turn it off completely. I wouldn't suggest that, because then your maps won't work, your weather app doesn't work. If you were on Yelp and you wanted to see good restaurants around you, none of that would work. So I wouldn't suggest turning off all of the GPS, but you can turn it off as it relates to the camera applications on your smartphones. Well, first of all, I think we all recognize this, as many of us are technology challenged. We're behind the 8 ball, we're trying to catch up. Our kids grew up in a digital age. They're way ahead of us. Online predators. These individuals are good at what they do. Their job is to lure our child out of the house or to get them to send inappropriate images. As long as there's the internet, we're going to have online predators. These individuals aren't hanging out at the playgrounds, at the parks anymore. They're hanging out in the digital playgrounds that our kids now are engaged in. Peer pressure and cyberbullying. Technology has allowed children to harass and bully other children on a daily basis. And kids, I interview kids that are involved in sexting incidences. And I asked them this question, why did you send that picture? Knowing that picture was probably going to get out and it was going to be shared. Why did you send that picture? And the answer I always get is, I don't know. I don't know why I sent that picture. It was the heat of the moment. I didn't realize the consequences. And kids don't realize the consequences of their actions until many times it's too late. Anything you post on the internet, you're never getting back. You can try to take it down, but how do you know somebody else didn't record that or copy that? It can come back to haunt you. The case I talked about 10, 15 years later. As long as there's an internet, that material has a chance of being out there forever. I want to close with a couple tips on how to protect your children. The first thing I think we should do as parents is accept and embrace technology. Learn as much as you can. Don't substitute software for education. We can put all the filters and stuff on our computers and software. You need to teach kids safe computing habits. Kids can bypass this stuff. They can go to another friend's house. Also, don't keep computers in private areas. Keep them out in open areas. And remember, a cell phone is also a computer. You're the parents. You set the ground rules. How long your children can be online, what sites they can go to, and pay attention to parental controls. Many phones and computers have these. Take advantage of these parental controls that are on there. Talk to your children about posting private information online. If you've ever had a child playing an iOS game, these can get very expensive. Turn off that in-app purchase. Monitor the screen time. Once again, you're the parent. You're the one that determines how often a child can be online. A big one, encourage that open dialogue with your child. And once again, town hall meetings like this, revisit these issues often. Technology is always changing. There's a new application the kids are using. Revisit this often. One thing I want you to take away from this is you can put as much internet safety programs on your computers and cell phones. You can monitor as much as you think you can. But remember, technology can't catch everything. You might be doing a great job in your own home. Your child can go right down to her friend's house, and you don't know how her friend's parents are. They might not be like you. They might let that child do whatever they want. So communicate with your child. Have that open dialogue and be prepared. If your child comes to you, because I've talked to children, and one big concern they have while they don't report some of this stuff is the fear, the big fear that if they come to their mom or dad or grandmother or granddad and said, look, I came across this on the internet, the first thing, and everybody's thinking of it right now, well, that's never going to happen again, and you take the phone away. That's what kids are worried about. So assure them that maybe you may take it away for a little bit, depending on what they were doing. But that's one thing that kids are afraid of, that they're going to have their technology, their devices taken away. So have that open dialogue before something bad happens. And sit down with your child. Make the internet and these devices a learning tool, a bonding experience for your child, and maybe they can teach you, the technology challenged, a little something. And remember, you have a whole lifetime. You might be technology challenged, but you as the parent have the wisdom that you can give to your child. Use that.
Fine?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.